At this point in time in the game in 2020, team health and injuries are way more important than the good old home field advantage. For decades in the NFL, many bettors believed that home field advantage was worth 2.6 or 2.8 points. And that's what the bookmakers would say as well, because it was all driven by the data. But guess what? That ain't the way it used to be, because home field has slowly declined over the last 10 years. In fact, if you've blindly bet on every home team in the NFL this year, you're down almost $2,000 on a $100 bet. Home teams' ATS are 108, 116, 108 wins and 116 losses. Guess what? Bookmakers are certainly paying attention. They have been able to knock home field. One bookmaker told me before the season, he made his home field number 1.7 points. Now, when you think about it, well, 2.6 to 1.7, that's not a big deal. But in the NFL, every point matters. 2.5 point favorite is a whole lot different than a 3.5 point favorite. And I talked to Ed Salmons over at the Westgate. He's been in the trading rooms in Vegas for over 30 years. He said that it's more important for them to look at the team rating and the power rating, because every team, of course, has a number. The Kansas City Chiefs are a 3-point favorite in New Orleans. And while some people look at that and go, ooh, the Saints are really good, they're getting points at home, if you watch that game, it was very clear the home field advantage did not matter. And some people are saying that home field isn't really worth anything at all anymore at this point in time. It's really hard to quantify. It's tough to put a true number on it, but the data and the numbers do show that home field is way less important than it was at the turn of the century. And when you think about the teams in the postseason, I would still make the exception, even though bookmakers say in the regular season it's not that important. There's a place in Green Bay, Wisconsin. You may have heard of it. It's called LAMBEAU Field. If it's a 10-degree day with snow and wind and sleet, you have to imagine bookmakers will account for that. So if the Packers, let's say they play the Saints in the NFC title game, you're looking at Green Bay on the open, probably -3. And that could go either way. It could go -2.5, could go -3.5. But injuries are much more important. Team health is much more important than home field. Bookmakers are way more braced for a guy to come in and figure out that tackles are out or DNs are out or wide receivers are hurt. At this point in time in the game in 2020, team health and injuries are way more important than the good old home field advantage.